everybody. Welcome once again to the Stevie B Show. As always, I'm Stevie B. Well, I have a really great guest with me today. He's an author. He's written quite a few novels. You could call him the Stephen King of Medford, Massachusetts. His book, I just read it, actually, The Last Longshoreman. It's a story of chilling tale of crime and corruption at the Boston waterfront. It's another book. Please welcome my guest, Mr. Marc Zappulla. Marc, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate it. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I read your book. Now, you've got a couple of more books here. Like, I'll show this one right here. This one, I love the title of it right here.
How can you not?
How can you not? How to Dump a Body at Sea and Not Get Caught. This is cute. I mean, I think if you were a mob boss or whatever, you probably want this book or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good tutorial for that.
Marc, okay, we're going to get to the books, but I got to ask you, tell us a little bit about yourself. While growing up, you're from Medford. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, I grew up actually in South Medford, so it's also good to be back here. My father was a longshoreman. I had middle class parents. My mother was an immigrant from Italy. My father's Italian as well, and it was a great upbringing. I had a lot of friends. The neighborhood was a little different back then, but it was good. Yeah.
Oh, but what made you? Incidentally, my parents are immigrants too from Italy as well. Now, so what got you into being an author? What gave you inspiration to write books?
I think I always had a creative mind. And looking back, I used to, I guess, toy with it, write down notes about different ideas I'd have if I ever wrote like a screenplay or a book. And then one day I lost my job. And I found the time someone asked me to basically write their autobiography. And I wasn't ready for it. It was a very high-profile individual, too. And I said no. And then 2 weeks later, I said, you know what, I'll never get this opportunity again. So I wrote someone's autobiography. And it never came out, but I guess it proved that I could do it. To myself anyway, and so I continued on.
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but you were actually a ghostwriter for, I think, the greatest hockey goalie of all time, Jerry Cheevers.
Yeah, I wrote Jerry's book, and Jerry is one of the great gentlemen that I've ever met. Obviously, one of the greatest hockey players of all time, and it was a fantastic experience. Talking to him, getting to know him, becoming his friend, meeting all the guys too from from the '70s and stuff that played. And, so it was a good time.
I met him, and he's a very nice man.
Yeah.
And I've always felt, though, this is my opinion, that I always felt his number 30 should be retired by the Bruins. But I don't know how he feels about that. But I mean, so many. When you think of goalies in Boston, the first name that comes to mind is Jerry Cheevers. That's the best way. So why do you think the Bruins won't? That's my opinion. I think I would love to see Jerry's number hang in the rafters.
I think it certainly belongs up there, but I think it's really. I don't think there's any. I don't think it's the Bruins saying no. I don't think it's Jerry wanting to do it. I think it's they haven't come together. And Jerry's wasn't the type of he didn't care about. He's very humble, so he doesn't care about records, attention, things like that. So it was never a rush for him.
Was there a fallout because he went to the World Hockey Association and Harry Sinden was upset with him? Is that
no? They got. I spoke to Harry Sinden when I was doing the book. That's in the past. I mean, Jerry came back, as a coach, as a player. So
yeah, but he was like one of the. When you think of the big bad Bruins, you think of Orr, Esposito, Cheevers, Sanderson. I met many of the Bruins from the '70s. I mean, my father always talks about. The '70s. I mean, his favorite player was Phil Esposito.
Yeah.
What is it? Jesus saves, Espo scores on the rebound.
Yeah.
Yep. No, and funny thing is, my father and Phil Esposito share the same birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, February 20th. So, little shameless plug. He loved Phil Esposito, but of course, everyone talked about Orr. But I mean, so you wrote his biography. So he was a really nice guy to work with.
Yeah, Jerry's incredible. I had to go to Florida once. Went up to Canada, hung out with him for a couple of days. Great family, everything. Yeah, he's just amazing.
So the book is available, or it's a Kindle? You said right
now it's just Kindle. There was some during a transition period. Things got a little wonky with publishing, but right now it'll be back in print.
Okay. Now I want to talk about this book. I mean, it took me a while to read it, The Last Longshoreman, and I got to tell you, there were times when I was reading it, I couldn't put it down.
Appreciate that.
No, I know, but it shows a little bit. It's kind of based. You said that your father was a longshoreman.
Yeah.
Now, is the book? I mean, the main character, I believe, is Tony Costa.
Yeah.
Now, is Tony based on anybody you know, or is it? I mean, if you don't want to say anything,
No,
I don't know
no,
if
it's
you're afraid of your
fine.
sources.
I mean, there are some parallels between the protagonist Tony and like my father. Let's say, I mean, they're both Italian, both grew up in Boston, essentially. But no, I mean, he was a longshoreman. I certainly did use him as a resource, but beyond that, I just basically took the idea and let my imagination run wild and came up with a story on my own. So
Really?
Yeah.
So is the like first of all, tell the audience what exactly is a longshoreman?
Oh,
What are
they're the dock workers, so they load unload ships. They're the crane operators, mechanics, security,
Oh.
things like that.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine whose husband is a longshoreman,
Yeah.
and a certain person I know who works for a Panera, his family comes from a long line of longshoremen.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Now, I'm reading the book though, and it's there's many different crazy characters that I mean,
colorful. Yeah.
colorful characters. I mean, some of these things, but I mean, there's robbery, there's murder, there's all sorts of things. But was any of the I know I maybe I've asked this question, but any of these characters in this book based on people you knew, or is it something you pretty much thought of yourself?
Yeah, I pretty much came up with pretty much on my own. Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I mean, when I look at the back of this, I think of that movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. But I mean, reading the book, like I said, it was a great book. It reminded me of I saw it as kind of a cross between Goodfellas and the Boston waterfront in a way.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I do tell people that I guess it's a combination of Goodfellas and On the Waterfront, the movie with Marlon Brando. So
Yeah, I love that. Like Tony marries an Italian girl, and it's all, and he's got friends with her. But like, I don't want to give away too much of the book.
No, it's
but I
okay.
mean, there's a scene in which there's a big robbery job at the end. It was kind of reminding me of like the Latanza scene in Goodfellas
Yeah.
when they, in a way, like things go crazy and everything, and people end up. But like I said, it is. This book, I think, should be a movie. I think. Have any movie producers ever come to you about this?
Yeah, actually, early on, I got several calls about it, and there was some negotiations going on, but nothing came to fruition. But it's always sitting there, sort of out there. People do talk about it, and I think honestly, it's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet. But you know how Hollywood is: hurry up and wait. So
Yeah. If you need an actor, just let me know.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
I know. I know. I take any part. Really, I'm just kidding. But it is a great book, and I think
Thank
I
you.
would recommend it. We're going to put the credits on Amazon. You can get it. The Last Longshoreman. It's a great book, and I can't recommend it enough. Like I said, so I really hope it does become a movie.
Thank
Like
you,
I said,
thank you.
it was like a combination of Goodfellas and the Boston Mob in a way. In any way. Now this one right here, I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but I looked at the title and I just laughed. The title is "How to Dump a Body at Sea and Not Get Caught."
that's everyone's reaction, really.
That's what I like. Now you wrote this with Mac Maloney.
Yeah.
So who's Mac?
Max, well, he's also an author. He focuses more on sort of military X-Files type of stuff. And
Oh.
he had this idea. It was his brainchild. And so because he was pivoting away from what he usually does, he thought he'd ask me because I do more crime stuff and wanted to know if I'd get involved. And I said, sure.
Oh wow! So I mean, like I said, I haven't read the book yet, but can you give us a gist of like what it's about?
Yeah.
Even though it's how to dump a body at sea and not
Yeah,
get caught.
certainly. But no, it's about a juvenile delinquent that basically everything he touches turns to crap along his life. So, but it is a sort of zero to hero story. But it was fun to write. The story is comical and yeah.
Yeah, it's so. How long? Just out of curiosity, how long did it take you to write The Last Longshoreman?
About 18 months.
18 months. Wow. Yeah, and yeah, like I said, there's parts of it that I couldn't put down, but you have one more book here. It's a relatively short book, but it's called Miami Underground, and like I said, I've only read the Longshoreman book, but I mean, can you give us an idea about what this book is about?
Yeah, and that's actually about a band of thieves that have to steal something out of the Versace mansion to save someone else's life.
The
So
Versace mansion.
yeah, so
Wow,
it starts
wow.
in Boston, ends up in Miami, and that was fun. I had to do a lot of research.
Oh.
It was fun.
Is it kind of like, I look at it this, like, first thing I thought when I saw the cover, is it kind of like Scarface or something like that? Or
Nah, not.
is Al Pacino in this book?
No, it's not mentioned.
No, I want to, I do want to read this, but, so, I mean, you have done so much, are you writing anything currently right now? Any books coming out?
Yeah, I just finished one. It's going to be called 1220, and it has a pretty big spiritual component to it, and which is a little different from what I'm used to. But it should be out in a few months. It'll be out this spring, and
Definitely.
yeah, that's looking forward to that. Looking forward to doing the circuit with the book signings and stuff.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Like I said, I gotta read this now, and I definitely gotta read this. But like I said, I can't get enough of Last Longshoreman. It was just such a great book.
Thank you.
And I can't really wait for the movie to come out. So if people want to know more about you or want to get copies of these books, where do they go?
Yeah, they can go right to Amazon. I have an author page there, so all of my books are laid out there, and I'm on Instagram right now. Facebook, I don't get into much. I got hacked. I can't really actually log in right now. I'm trying to figure that out, and I'm on X as well. So
Oh, wow, that's good. Yeah, we will get the credits information on everything for the credits. But like I said, I want to thank Mark for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great to have you, Mark.
Yeah.
And like I said, The Last Longshoreman, great book. You won't be disappointed. There's mafia or like money, robberies, all sorts of things. Like I said, it's kind of. I felt like I was looking at the Boston version of Goodfellas, but I mean, but the character, the main character, Tony Costa, is a likable guy, and he goes through a lot to do it too, and everything. Now this one, like I said, I haven't read it yet, but this one here, How to Dump a Body at Sea and Not Get Caught. I mean, just the title alone makes you want to pick it up and read it. And this one here, Miami Underground, and if you can. If you want to know, read Jerry Cheever's autobiography, it's only available on Kindle, right?
right now, yeah.
Right now, so you can go on Amazon for that too.
Yep.
So anyway, and your next book is called 1220.
1220.
What's the significance of the numbers?
Well, it's the time, and it's basically what happens at 1220. So when you're reading the book, every other chapter perhaps says will indicate the time, and so he's kind of wondering like what's going to take place. And
Now, just curiosity, how do you come up with these ideas? I mean, is it something that just comes into your mind? It's like a gift that you.
I wouldn't go that far as to say it's a gift, but I don't know. I could just take like an event or something that takes place in life and just let my imagination run wild, and I could just turn it into something much larger.
Yeah. Okay, and finally. Mark's other book, Miami Underground. You can pick it up at Amazon as well. And like I said, Mark, I really loved the book, Longshoreman.
Thank you.
I wish you a lot of success. I really hope it's made into a movie soon.
Me too.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Anytime.
And,
Anytime.
And like I said, us Italians stick together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, like I said, that's that's all the time we have for the CVB show. As always, I'm Stevie B. Like I said, The Last Longshoreman, a chilling tale of crime and corruption on the Boston waterfront by author Marc Zappulla. So we'll see you next time. And until then, I'm Stevie B, and we'll see you next time on the show. Bye-bye, everybody.